What's up guys, Rogue9 here. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has had a massive update recently, including a new weapon, a new vehicle, and significant changes to the way the game plays. So in this video, I want to give you an overview of the most important changes and how they will affect your gameplay. First off, a change that is probably welcomed by many players is that now you can choose which maps you want to play. Well, I say maps, you can either pick one or the other or both. If you do select multiple maps, then it will simply be a randomized choice as before, or if you pick a single one, it will just be that map. Once you're in-game, you will find a significant number of new features and additions, such as the new gun, the SLR. Now the gun is called the SLR, which stands for self-loading rifle, and in-game it is modeled as a DMR, a designated marksman rifle. But of course in real life this would be the FNFAL or Fusil Automatique Léger. And with that, enough of the acronyms. In-game, it is a single-shot weapon with a 10-bullet capacity unless you use an extended mag, which ups that capacity to 20 bullets. It is now the second most powerful DMR in the game after the Mark 14, but its significant recoil make it hard to use at closer ranges. Also added to the game is a new vehicle, the Mirado. This vehicle can only be found on the desert map Miramar, is fast and can seat up to 4 players. Its typical spawn locations will be in town centers and built-up areas. It will be the fastest vehicle on the map, but only as long as you stay on the roads. Once you go off-road, things will become a little more challenging. In addition to the new gun and car, there are also a whole bunch of new attachments. Of course, we still have the angled foregrip that reduces horizontal recoil and increases ADS speed, but makes the weapon less steady, and the vertical foregrip that greatly reduces vertical recoil. But in addition to that now, for ARs, SMGs and DMRs, we also get the light grip, which is more steady but increases recoil recovery time, the thumb grip, which slightly reduces vertical recoil, makes weapons more steady and greatly increases the transition speed to ADS. And last but maybe not least, we have also the half grip, which reduces vertical and horizontal recoil, decreases the recoil recovery time, but makes the weapon less steady. So it's important to note that some of these grips will have some great advantages, but also come with their own downsides. The half grip and angled foregrip will each make your guns less steady, and that's maybe not something you want necessarily for long-ranged weapons. The light grip increases recoil recovery time, which makes follow-up shots more difficult as well. For shotguns, you will now have a duckbill attachment which will reduce the vertical pellet spread but increase the horizontal spread, and there are now also 2 extra scopes on the map, a fixed 3x scope which is common, and a 3 to 6 times variable magnification scope which will be rare. And speaking of scopes, for the red dot sight, hollow sight and 2x scope, you can now change the reticle color and shape by using the zeroing keys, which by default are page up and page down. And that's it for the new additions to the game, but there have also been some significant rebalances that are quite important and affect the gameplay significantly. First of all the throwables have been changed, and most importantly the frag grenades. Frag grenades will no longer knock a person back. Instead, the explosive damage of the grenades has been increased to compensate for the fact that you will no longer take fall damage, and that's really how they used to work. It was the fall damage from being knocked back that would cause the knockdown, and this was rather inconsistent. So I would say there's a definite improvement there, and in addition to this, the weights of all of the throwables have been changed. Frag grenades now weigh 18 units up from 12, Molotov cocktails are down from 18 to 16, smoke grenades down from 16 to 14, and stun grenades down from 14 to 12. This means that you can carry more of every throwable except for the grenades. Another important gameplay change is the way that swimming is now adapted. Hiding underwater used to be a really effective tactic, too effective in fact, and so now they've reduced the time that you can hold your breath from 35 seconds down to 15. Then once you're out of air, you will take 10 damage per second instead of 4, and once you resurface, it will now take 4 seconds before you begin to recover your breath rather than 1. So the bottom line is you can't stay underwater for very long anymore, you take significantly more damage and you will need more time to recover, and that makes hiding away in water much more difficult and much more dangerous from now on. And apart from this gameplay rebalancing, there's also been a massive rebalancing of all of the weapons. The first thing that you might notice is that now with sniper rifles, LMGs and shotguns, your movement speed is slightly slower than it was before. And that's only a tiny part of the changes. Damage multipliers to various body parts, reload speeds, shotgun pellet spread, recoil and recoil recovery have all changed. And the changes are different for each weapon. And in terms of baseline damage, pistols, SMGs and LMGs are slightly more powerful across the board, while many of the ARs and a couple of the shotguns lose some power, and for DMRs it's only the SKS that loses a bit of power while the VSS and Mini 14 gain damage. If you want the full detail on these weapon rebalancing changes, or any of the other changes for that matter, a link to the patch notes will be in the description below. But those are definitely the most important changes for now. And with that, as always guys, thanks for watching, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.